In the Doqi continent, the top alchemy event is the grand ceremony of the Yao clan. So do you know what is the highest level alchemy gathering in the Great Thousand World? Few would expect that even the qualification to participate requires one to be a 9th-grade alchemist. Picking up from before, Xiaoyan grabbed the white jade slip and asked, "What is this?" "Have you heard of the 10,000 pill gathering?" the old farmer asked in return. Then he pointed at the Taishu sacred flame and Long Yuan. "If you don't know, you can ask those who have stayed in the Great Thousand World long enough." The 10,000 pill gathering. Hearing this, even Taishu sacred flame and Long Yuan were stunned. At their level, how could they not know what the 10,000 pill gathering was? That was the greatest alchemy event in the entire Great Thousand World. The jade slip in your hand is a special privilege token for the next 10,000 pill gathering. Cherish it well. I paid a great price to obtain it for you, the old farmer said to Xiaoyan. As he spoke, the surrounding plain space began to distort. "Ha! Young man, don't think too much. Just keep moving forward." As his voice faded, his figure disappeared into the distorted plain space. Watching him leave, Xiaoyan tightened his grip on the white jade slip. After a moment, he turned around and asked, "Senior Sacred Flame, what exactly is the 10,000 pill gathering?" Taishu Sacred Flame replied, "Have you heard of the Dan God clan and the ancient Myriad Grass Plain?" "I've heard a little." "They are the two greatest alchemy forces in the Great Thousand World." Hearing Xiaoyan's reply, Taishu Sacred Flame nodded and continued. "In terms of foundation and strength, they are comparable to the Ice Spirit Clan and the Flame Spirit Clan. Today, across the entire Great Thousand World, whether in the open or in the shadows, the Dan God Clan and the ancient Myriad Grass Plain represent the pinnacle of alchemy." Xiaoyan was slightly shocked. He understood how significant it was to be the strongest both openly and secretly. Back in the Doqi continent, the strongest alchemy force on the surface was the Pill Tower. But in the shadows, it was the Yao clan. He then asked, "Then is the 10,000 pill gathering, hosted by the Dan God clan, or the ancient Myriad Grass Plain?" The 10,000 pill gathering is the peak alchemy event of the Great Thousand World, Taishu Sacred Flame explained. It was originally created to restore prosperity to the world through the power of pills after a great catastrophe. Later it came to be held once every 30 years. By now it has been held for thousands of sessions. So today, it is no longer about its original purpose. It has instead become an ancient tradition passed down for tens of thousands of years. As for the host 10,000 years ago, it was alternated between the Dan God clan and the ancient Myriad Grass Plain. But now, due to its symbolic significance, it is jointly hosted by both forces, so its scale is even greater than before. After hearing the explanation, Xiaoyan gradually understood. He muttered, "From what the old farmer said earlier, there isn't much time left before the next session." "About 7 months," Taishu Sacred Flame replied. "As for participation requirements based on past experience, the minimum threshold is a Xuan alchemist." "Xuan alchemist," Xiaoyan murmured. Having been in the Great Thousand World for nearly 10 years, he had a solid understanding of its alchemy system. In this world, Dan Apprentice, equivalent to below 2nd grade alchemists; Great Dan Apprentice, equivalent to 4th grade Great Dan; Master Arrow, equivalent to 6th grade Spirit Alchemist; Arrow, equivalent to 8th grade Xuan Alchemist; Arrow, equivalent to 9th grade above that, then Divine Alchemist, then Heavenly Alchemist. Even Earth Supreme experts must show respect to Heavenly Alchemists. But above them all stood the true peak, the Grand Alchemy Grandmasters, whom even Heaven Supreme experts would pursue. The requirement for the 10,000 pill gathering is Xuan Alchemist. That means participants are all 9th grade alchemists, and there may even be Divine Alchemists, or even Heavenly Alchemists. Thinking of this, Xiaoyan asked, "Senior, how many participants were there in past gatherings?" "That's hard to say," Taishu Sacred Flame replied. "Sometimes only a few thousand, sometimes over 10,000, or even tens of thousands. If you count overall influence, The number of alchemists gathered may represent over 60 to 70% of the entire Great Thousand World. Xiaoan took a deep breath. On the Du Qi continent, even 9th-grade alchemists were extremely rare. Even in the current Du Qi world, he estimated only 2 people could reach that level. Yet here, tens of thousands could gather. What about the rewards? Xiaoyan asked. For such a massive event, the rewards must be extraordinary. But Taishu's sacred flame's answer stunned him. The reward is very simple. The Dan God clan and the ancient Myriad Grass Plain will provide any materials you need. No matter the type or quantity of medicinal ingredients, they will supply everything. And what you take away is the highest quality pill you refine yourself. What? The reward is your own refined pill. Xiaoyan was shocked. He instantly understood what this meant. If participants had to bring their own materials, the attraction would be limited. But here, the suppliers were the Dan God clan and the ancient Myriad Grass Plain. And they weren't serving a handful of people, but all Xuan alchemists and above in the entire Great Thousand World. To support tens of thousands of high-level alchemists with unlimited material selection, what kind of terrifying reserves did that require? And yet this event had been held for thousands of sessions. Well, planning to participate? Long Yuan asked. Yes? Xiaoban nodded. I happen to need some special pills right now. The pills he needed were for Kai Lin. Xiao was still in deep sleep. Without using pills to transform her bloodline, she might sleep for decades, and even then her condition would be uncertain. But Xiaoyan had another goal. After the birth of the Do Qi world, his vision had expanded far beyond before. He understood that to achieve the ambition of the ancient Void Dragon Emperor, he would need immense power. Power far beyond just the Dao Qi world and the ancient Void Dragon tribe. Thus he thought of 2 methods: to unite lower plane worlds under threat from external enemies, to rely on his own strength to attract powerful allies. But Xiaoyan understood. If he wanted to attract stronger forces, he needed higher-level pills. And to refine higher-level pills, he had to further improve his alchemy. He reflected. In nearly 10 years since arriving in the Great Thousand World, he had not devoted much effort to alchemy. It's time, Xiaoyan thought, to train in alchemy once again. When Xiaoyan heard the shouting voices echoing through the medicinal market, the blood of an alchemist within him instantly began to surge. This feeling he had not experienced it for decades. Continuing from before, Taishu Holy Flame asked Xiaoyan, "Are you planning to depart now?" Xiaoyan replied, "Now isn't the myriad pill gathering still half a year away? There are indeed 6 months left, but you hold something that grants you VIP privileges." Taishu Holy Flame looked at the white jade slip in Xiaoyan's hand. In the ancient myriad pill gathering, this jade slip represented participation eligibility. But now that the myriad pill gathering is fully open, any alchemist who has reached the profound pill master Xuandan Shi level can participate. Under such circumstances, this jade slip serves another purpose. It is a VIP token. Those who possess it can head in advance to the Dan Shen clan or the ancient myriad herb plains to familiarize themselves with this year's gathering. The one in your hand is white, so you can go early to the Dan Shen clan. If it were black, you could go to the ancient myriad herb plains instead. It seems that old man from the Dan Shen clan treated you quite well. For you, the myriad pill gathering must be completely unfamiliar. If you want to participate, it's best to set out for the myriad pill continent now. With this jade slip, you can even review past records of the gathering. That would help you understand it better. Hearing this, Xiaoyan revealed a look of pleasant surprise. He hadn't expected that old farmer to give him something so convenient. Then suddenly, Xiaoyan thought of something. He turned to Taishu Holy Flame and asked, "You said all profound pill master level alchemists can participate, right?" After receiving confirmation, Xiaoyan pondered briefly. Then, under everyone's gaze, he sat cross-legged in mid-air. As he closed his eyes, a mysterious fluctuation spread from his body, covering the entire Do Qi world within just a few breaths. After a few minutes, Xiaoyan slowly opened his eyes. A scroll formed in his hand, condensed from the power of heaven and earth. You're planning to let qualified alchemists from the Do Chi world participate. Dragon Yuan immediately guessed his intention. Xiaoyan nodded. He handed the scroll to Dragon Yuan. This is a free opportunity for them to broaden their horizons. For this newly established plane, it will bring only benefits. I've just used the power of the plane core to scan the Do Chi world. There are currently 23 alchemists who meet the requirements. I selected 8 of them. In half a year, have 2 Earth Supreme Elders bring them to meet me. Then Xiaoyan raised his hand again and summoned the plane core. Senior Holy Flame, I am deeply grateful for your help in saving me in the Danling Great Domain. As he spoke, Xiaoyan handed the plane core to Taishu Holy Flame. He had not forgotten his previous promise. After arranging everything, Xiaoyan turned to Shun. He gently held her hand and smiled. Now that we're home, you should stay here and wait for me. Shun smiled. Go if you want to, just like back on the Do Chi continent. No matter how vast the world is, it cannot hide your brilliance as you move forward. That's the Xiaoyan I like. Ha! I thought you might blame me for leaving you alone all these years. When I return, and also Lina and the others are in the Do Chi world. If you go find him now, it'll be a pleasant surprise for him. Xiaoyan then swept his gaze across the world. Although everything seemed calm, as the plane master, he could clearly sense that another transformation had already begun. It was caused by the 1 billion supreme spiritual liquid he had shattered earlier, now triggering energy assimilation across the world. I'm sorry, I acted impulsively, Xiaoyan said softly. Dragon Yuan replied spiritual energy assimilation was bound to happen sooner or later. What must come will come. This is also a trial for everyone in this world. You don't need to worry about it, we'll handle it. Xiaoyan nodded. Then with a wave of his sleeve, a spatial passage appeared before him. It led to the Myriad Pill continent. I'm leaving. Xiaoyan smiled and waved to Shun and the others. Everything was arranged. Now it was time for him to truly witness the Myriad Pill gathering. 3 days later, on the 3rd ring of the Myriad Pill continent, there lay a vast region known as the Xuanfu domain. This name originated from the ancient Xuanfu clan. On the Myriad Pill continent, the 2 strongest forces were undoubtedly the Dan Shen clan and the ancient Myriad Herb Plains. Below them, there existed a structure known as 1 sect 3 clans and 4 sects. 1 sect Divine Medicine sect, 3 clans Xuanfu clan, Ming clan, Wang clan, 4 sects Myriad Valley sect, Flower God sect, Heavenly Pill, Sect 100 Herb sect. For thousands of years, the Myriad Pill continent had been dominated by the Dan Shen clan and ancient Myriad Herb Plains, with the 1 sect, 3 clans and 4 sects maintaining balance. At this moment, within the Xuanfu domain, a black-robed figure was flying at incredible speed. His destination, the Dan Shen clan billions of miles away. Xiaoyan had arrived at the Myriad Pill continent just yesterday. His landing point was the war-scarred Danling Great Domain. After calculating, he realized that the Dan Shen clan was much farther than the ancient Myriad Herb Plains. After nearly a full day of travel, he had already halved the distance. At this rate, he would arrive in another day. However, before heading there, Xiaoyan intended to gather information about pills capable of repairing soul injuries. His current destination, a massive city nearby. After about 10 breaths, Xiaoyan finally arrived thousands of miles outside the enormous city. Looking ahead, he saw the entire city covered by a massive protective barrier. He then flew forward, and the moment he entered, shouting voices filled his ears. High-grade profound tier herb, heavenly immortal grass, 30,000 supreme spiritual liquid, low-grade divine tier herb Bodhi spirit essence can be used to refine divine pills 20,000 per bottle, mysterious thunder pill, refined through a year of heavenly lightning tempering, raises the chance of a spirit beast evolving into a divine beast to over 60%. 80,000 supreme spiritual liquid. As these voices entered Xiaoyan's ears, A look of excitement appeared on his face, not because of the items themselves, but because it had been decades since he last experienced such an atmosphere. The fragrance of pills in the air, the spiritual energy from countless herbs, once again stirred the blood of an alchemist within him. It was an incredibly refreshing feeling. At that moment, a voice rang out nearby. Warming Spirit Pill. Warming Spirit Pill. A low-grade divine pill, refined over 8 months. It has miraculous effects in healing injuries to a supreme divine soul. Includes the pill formula, 1,500,000 supreme spiritual liquid.